I would like to see, and we've had this experience before over the past few years with organizations that have tried to provide a contrast to our current administration.
Mm-hmm.
But I would just like to see effective leadership come up, because I feel like I've been burned a couple of times over the past 10, 12 years, which would extend to Occupy Wall Street, not just even the past few years,
Mm-hmm.
of there being either insufficient or a lack of leadership and vision and plan. And I don't know. I mean, I don't think we know what a leader looks like until they actually emerge.
Right.
But yes, there are people that have been working on this. I also fear that we have our idea of what leadership is, and we kind of take it on good faith that people are actually working towards something in the way that, not even that we would, but the way that we have in our imagination that it should go.
That a leader would, yeah.
And then those things aren't actually there, you know?
Mm.
So I think the media bubbles that we all exist in, again, not pejoratively bubbles,
Mm-hmm.
is right now so disparate. I'm waiting and hoping for there to emerge more distinct ideas and leaders that can be that transcend the individual bubbles that we all exist in and get us talking about a common path. Right now, defunding the police is, I think, the one thing that that really exists in my bubble that's transcended.
Yeah.
And even that's a little soft for me,
Okay.
based on what you're even saying about the LAPD being defunded $150 million, and that really being potentially a shell game of just like, yeah, okay, well, we'll knock off a little bit of the overtime, but everything's, will calm down in a couple of weeks.
Well, I don't think I'm getting that. I mean, I'm not realizing it's a shell game because of my media bubble. I'm realizing that because I looked at what numbers actually look like.
No, I'm not saying that the media is saying that it's a
Oh,
shell game.
okay.
I'm saying that we are, based on our conversations, recognizing that particular objective is very susceptible to sweep it under the rug.
I see what you mean. Yeah.
Now, I've been thinking about it kind of like the Hong Kong 5 demands, which I don't know offhand, but even the idea that I can reference that protesters had 5 things that they could say during the protest, that they could have online, that people could know what they are, that could potentially be forwarded. If there were something that were similar to that, I would start feeling a lot more comfortable.
I think that's a good point, and I hope that happens. I also think part of the language and the shorthand, it's been a process for me to understand, and I fall into, I'm young, I'm progressive, I totally fit the bill for people that would back these things and want to get involved, and I didn't understand a lot of it and had to do some research, and definitely talking to other people that aren't quite as young or progressive or involved in what's going on. They didn't get it at all. And then sharing my knowledge, but it would be great if the language and the shorthand was maybe a little more inclusive too. And
in what respect?
In the respect of something that more than just the super progressive young people can understand and push forward. I do think that if things are going to move forward in any sort of significant way, there needs to be language. So we spoke about this the other day too, that the Me Too movement really sort of affected people it didn't stop on political lines. It definitely, it was more on the left, but it did filter out. And I think it created language that people could use and people could understand. And maybe it was confusing at first, but it very quickly defined itself. And I think if there's anything that's going to be long lasting and sort of spread around to more than just one bubble, as you say, I think knowing how to talk about it is really important. And it's in no way a judgment on how things are being done now, because obviously the word is getting out and it is filtering and we are understanding it. But I hope that there's a push moving forward to sort of say things in a way that aren't polarizing and are said in a way that people can really get behind it, and then change can actually happen from more than just one side. And it can be the same exact thing, it's just the way that it's said can either anger people or excite people. So I don't know. That's why I've been focusing on thinking about the system of police as a broken and racist system inherently, as opposed to focusing on the individual people. Regardless of what my personal thoughts are on that, I'm trying to just share the idea of the system, because I think that's something that translates to a lot of different people.
Translates as far as people understand that idea?
I think it's easier for people to understand that the systems, because people get defensive. People get I know a cop, or I have a friend that's a cop, or I'm a cop and I'm not a bad person and you're attacking me. And regardless of whether or not I feel like all cops inherently are bad people, I'm just going to focus on saying that the system is bad, because that's the thing that it takes a lot of the shame off of people, and it takes a lot of the defensiveness out of the conversation.
Yeah.
And not that that's anyone's responsibility, sorry, but it's there is a method to enacting change through shame, and that's if other people want to do that, that's great, that's fine. I'm not judging that at all. I just think my way of moving forward talking about it is to focus on communicating in a way that people will hear, and not just jump to feeling attacked or feeling defensive and shutting down.
Right. Yeah.